Hello and welcome. It is the 23rd day of August 2019. It is 9:51 a.m. Eastern Time. Now that of 9:52 a.m. Eastern Time. Whatever. I can show the time in here. Right there. Things are moving. Things are moving. All bets, trades, and of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. And when we're looking at Bitcoin here, yeah, it's just stuck within this range. And any type of breakout patterns, if there are any, I mean, we've got a long ways to go to get to the upper end. It just means that we'd be leaving test number 5 of this area, if it can at least get up a few hundred basis points more. And then I'll say, okay, that's a low, just like this was a high from this low. This was a high from this low. High here from this low. High here from that low. Okay, let's take a look at this on the Bitstamp exchange. This way I can use my drawing tools and I'll shorten out the time frame just a little bit here. But on the 3 hour term, as we can see after going sideways within the 18, it's a clear breakout. And it's this hour in which it is breaking it out. Resistance most certainly was heavily established. Originally it was right here and it really didn't change. I guess you could say maybe give it a small pierce to around here. This way it hits up with this high, hits up within these two congestion periods and this support. It hits this resistance in a few periods, it hits this one as well. And along the way, the U-shape formation, there's the U-shape there. And then from this low, higher low, and now getting above this level of resistance. It's a clear, noticeable break on any type of correctionary moves. This is what determines if it comes down here. Are we supporting it for the comeback support, or are we in gulf of a failed breakout? Because that's the question either way. It's going to be one or the other. And as far as viewing it on the 15-minute term time frame, well, it's happened in the previous minute from 9:30 to 9:45, and well, it's 9:54 as I'm doing this now. So there's 5 minutes 34 seconds to go. 3/4, or excuse me, 2/3 of this period is very close to being complete. So it's pausing it so far. So that's decent signs, but this move happened really fast. I haven't even seen the 1 minute yet. It was a move that spanned about 3 minutes. But even beforehand, there were we were seeing was a break of this level of resistance and holding it for several minutes. And then, of course, you had the move. And what has it done so far is went sideways. It could very easily continue such, but if it leaves above this short term, like around here, that this is just like whatever technical analysis on this, then we probably could see further gains higher. But again, as we're stating on the daily, it's and it's getting symmetrical as well. It's got a long ways to go to break resistance. It's closer to support. So any rallies will just make it even tougher to break either on the either side situation because it's close to breaking support. But of course, the further it goes up, symmetrical because we got higher lows in here and really for the entire run, this has been a downtrend as well. So it's got to break it to one side or another. Not much left in the time before it breaks it. Just a few more days or into the start of the next week. This one is keeping Bitcoin dominance afloat. I have noticed that over the last little while, altcoins are selling off against Bitcoin. Nothing too large though, but that should mean in here on the hourly time frame. Yeah, I'm not surprised because well, I noticed just how much like the gross coin was one interesting one on the cryptocurrency side. For this is its hourly time frame. And I'm looking to sell this. The wallets were offline when I woke up on Binance. They're back on now. I have made 3 transfers or 3 deposits this morning. Two for Binance. One was a gross coin. I haven't sold it yet. I could have, and I probably should have, but I didn't. And I'll show you in a bit why. But the market's been going down. And on the say 4 minute chart, there we have it. And I'm trying to sell gross to buy Litecoin. A market totally moving away from my where I need to right now. As it was And I was going to do it in here too. I probably should have, and I wish I would have now. But you've seen it go from 314 to 325. And I want gross coin going down. I sell gross coin going down. I sell Litecoin going up. So it's a mistrading opportunity right now. Maybe it'll come back. Uh, but when I look at the exchange where I would trade it on, it would actually I would sell gross coin first for Ethereum, and then buy Litecoin for the Ethereum that I would acquire in the trade. This is what the 1 minute, or let's just even go to the 1 minute time frame because that's what I was looking at on within Binance. But as we can see here, these were the highs from before. And I, back in here, when I had my order in, and I'm pretty sure I had my coins in by 9 o'clock. I could always check, but I was planning first. Now, do I put an order right before the 12.6? No, I went 13.6, 13 area, 13.4. So it didn't sell. But if I would have put it there, I would have been able to get that and get a decent ratio trade against Litecoin. And another one moving against my direction. It was getting close. I do got a line up at 438, but it was at 425, 426. I'm like, yeah, I'll sell some Bitcoin Cash to accumulate a little bit of Litecoin. But when we take a look at this on the 15-minute time frame, things again going away from what I would like. As we can see here, the as it was breaking out here, this is what I was seeing in here before. So I ended up putting a small deposit of Bitcoin Cash. Might not make the trade yet, and it could work out that this could go way down. Next thing you know, it's below 4. And look at this, it's down to 416. So let's just take a look at the culprit here between LTC, BCH. I'm kind of hoping it's Bitcoin Cash going down because the other coin that I deposited into Poloniex was DGB, and I want to sell it to buy Bitcoin Cash, which is odd that I'm looking to sell and buy it around the same time. But if Bitcoin Cash is going down, that would improve the ratio. And it looks like Litecoin's the culprit here. Wow, has it ever had a good failed breakdown fast move rally? What's going on here? In 1 minute time frame. This thing is just skyrocketing. Okay, well, I might have to delete that Ethereum order now. I'm gonna have to. Okay, so because of this, if for example, if I'm trying to ratio trade something and I got a sell order to buy something back, if the other thing is doing this bat on the way back, you kind of want to increase where you would sell it a bit. But for now, I'm just going to let the market sell out. Obviously, the gross Litecoin ratio is getting out of hand where I'm not really now looking to sell GRS. As is, of course, the Bitcoin Cash Litecoin ratio getting out of hand. Because as we can see with Bitcoin Cash right now, from its decline on the 1 minute, it's just put sideways on that level. And throughout this daily chart in here, it's just been going sideways for a little bit. Whereas Litecoin on the daily chart, definitely not the same story as it's been having constant declines from both the April and the June highs. Markets go up, markets go down. So there's some up moves. This has been consistently down. It was a very good up move from the end of the second week of December lows, up of course until the start of April. So a very good 3.5 month run going higher, and a run of early April to month and a half going down, then May 22 to then 3 weeks going up, and from June 12th, where are we now? Well, we're August 23rd, so 2 weeks or 2 months plus a week or two more in the decline. It could be longer, and then there's going to be a rally after that. That's just how these things always work. Now let's move this on to Bitcoin Cash DGB. I'm hoping that I'm cheering for this to go down. And on the single hour term time frame, it's still down. So at least I'll be able to make a trade here, like in the conclusion of this video, because my deposit should easily have been there minutes ago. That's how fast DGB is in sending. And as far as gold is concerned, I'm going to make that a separate video. I'm going to do this at the conclusion of this one in here. But it's having an interesting situation in here as the price action is coming back to an area where it came from. Same thing with silver in this similar type of area as well. But when you look down to it, what's the reason And my answer is going to be different than anyone else's, but what's the reason why you are investing into cryptos or gold or silver for whoever it is that you're doing it? And for myself, okay, well, if I choose not to, that means I would have to hold the fiat currency or invest it in some other way. And I certainly don't want to go out and make baseball and hockey and football bets, although I do that anyway. But as far as trying to say I want to sustain an income doing that, well, I would rather not. Same thing with poker. And games like this, well, I also realize it's a hedge against inflation, as they say. Well, I almost look at it as in it's like an insurance bet against the fiat currency in case it fails, just like you would insure a house or a car or something of the like in case bad situations happen to it. Then you get paid off. So if bad situations happen to the fiat currencies, you know, well, then you get paid off. Same thing as a measure of a gold and that of silver. So now switch it to gold on the GLD. It looks different, but yeah, why into it? It's like insurance. If fiat currency fails, then you're gonna win. And if you know, like you got a junker of a car that you know is breaking down, and you got it covered during that situation, and you're gonna get a Lamborghini if it breaks down. That's almost one of the ways that I look at. Of course, Lamborghini, what's the difference of that price compared to what your junker would have been when it was in prime condition? Obviously, we're talking about a modern day, heck, even a pre modern day $20,000 car or $15,000 car, whatever. And that is one of the ways in which I look at the ways in you play it. Also, too, I mentioned sports betting, poker, risk reward management, risk advantage gambling, those types of words. And in games of sports gambling, well, that means you got bookies, Vegas odds makers, or however you want to call them, that consistently have a job of putting out lines. And, well, they'll do things like, say, maybe in a baseball game, go something like this for a line. Go like, okay, a favorite is minus 130, the underdog is plus 115. And they just got a little bit of a spread. Well, what they're saying, as long as the fair price is between in this area close to this number, they're going to win. But if this fair price happens to be, say, minus 150, they were wrong, then you could just bet this all day and win. Same thing, if this team's supposed to be a favorite, maybe they should be minus 120. And this just means how much you'd have to bet to win the other. And you as a investor trying to find that better number. And then, of course, in poker, just being better than the other players enough to win the game and surpassing the rake that you have to play. And it can get expensive, uh, obviously, especially in the live game, but even no matter what, live game, you have to throw in facts of there's a lot of expenses like travel expenses and so on when you're a poker rounder. But that's just one profession where you just try to get the odds in your favor. And this is another one as well. Now, as far as gold, the that's you're trading it on the market. You're playing it as a long-term buy and hold situation. If you're able to buy and sell it off at a good rate, then that's something you could do almost as a side job as well. That's something I don't even consider doing. But that is where if I can buy, say, an ounce of gold for let's just say 2100 Canadian, yet I can sell it for 2140, then I can flip it for 40 bucks. Stuff like that. And that could be a possible way of making income as well. And to finish off this video, I'm going to just quickly show Ethereum Classic. Now the question is, how is it gonna hold this move? Failed breakout or start of a new trend? I mean, concise. Establishing the resistance. When I'm looking for levels of not too small, not too large, but just right. Well, as far as establishing resistance, this is pretty close to the low end of a large move, which I like in this sense because now, okay, now that you've done an extreme breakout to get above this high, oh, I really need to stay a hold and really stay above 577 as the lowest area. The 18 of average of low should catch up to and above that number relatively soon. But the range between here and here, which would be like six and a third, or 63,000, but six and a third handle, 633, is really, really important. And when you see this, if it may not need to have any big correction, and to see that more clearly, okay, well, do I see any signs, any time frames that it's ready to go back higher? On the answer, the daily answer is no. I mean, it's definitely ready, but 8 hour time frame, we have a little bit of a red down move, so not quite. 3 hour, okay, well, we're establishing this. Really getting above 730 right now. I would need to see it 737. Any type of short-term moves just around like 7 1/4, 728 would just keep this resistance range in play. We can probably see, yeah, just getting up to this. That would be the 18 average of highs in there, but clearly getting well above the 730s would tell us that this current move is ready to get going, and we should be seeing nice new highs. But I wouldn't have any. I'm not going to be thinking there's a great chance of that happening yet until I see that take place because I realize from where we stand, any rallies right now could probably very easily get up to that 720 to 730 number and possibly easily sell off from there. But even then, we may not even go up too much or at all. We could just maybe go up to 713 or something, if it, even much more at all, and fill some of this empty space into the 600s. Would be more. I'd be more expecting prices into the 600s than I would, like, let's say 670, or we'll go 655. That'd be differential of 45 points. So we're looking at 7%. Compared to 750, I think we're a better chance to go there than 750, 760 area. All right then. So anything here on the 15? Well, what it has done, it has didn't fall as bad recently during this recent decline. Although there we see it here going from 721 to 696. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I'll be making a gold and silver. It should already be out. If you're just watching this live, it should already be out because, or soon anyway, because you're 17 minutes into this as it is. And thank you for watching the video. Bye bye.